What's happening in LA is not about LA. The president has been saying since his campaign that he wanted to invoke the Insurrection Act, which is a early 19th century law. It's rarely been used, and that he wants to bring troops to our streets. And in the weeks leading up to what we've seen in Los Angeles, the president has been doing just that. He's been looking for every way that he can to get the military involved in his mass deportation program. You might have seen the leaked memo where the Department of Homeland Security has requested from the Department of Defense at least 21,000 National Guard troops to be involved in things like the transportation of unaccompanied children across state lines, nighttime operations, riot control. So this is not an isolated incident. He is using Los Angeles as a pretext, but he's been very open about his plans to use the military essentially as his own private army to carry out his dystopian deportation agenda. We have, since our founding, been a country that understands there's a really strict line between what the civilian authorities do and what the military do. And when you have a situation where the president can just call out the troops whenever he wants because he doesn't like what people are saying about him,
You just shut the
we have a really dangerous and alarming situation that has implications for our democratic institutions, our relationship to the military, and our democracy going forward.
We will not allow an American city to be invaded and conquered by a foreign enemy.
We've always thought that this president was going to start with attacks on immigrants and say that what he is doing right now is part of his broader immigration campaign, but there's nothing that limits it to that. You could see other types of protests against Trump policies, whether it's about abortion or his tax policies, whether it is around in the context of elections. The president then saying anything that he thinks is a riot justifies bringing in the troops. The very expansive use of authorities that have not been tested, is all part of this broader power grab and abuse of power by a president that is trying to not just test out the limits, but really amass authority just for himself. While it appears that the president doesn't always care about the law or have respect for law and order and the rules of law that we care about so much, I think actually what we're seeing is a reaction to the fact that courts are often holding him to account. The courts have, in so many decisions over the last few months, said actually what the president is doing is illegal, including judges appointed by Trump in conservative districts around the country. We've seen that even with the Supreme Court coming down very clearly that due process, procedures and notice, rule of law really does matter. And I think that's actually in some ways why we're seeing this president take more extreme actions outside the law, because of the frustration that his administration may feel with the fact that they're losing in front of the courts. I don't think we're yet at a point where law doesn't matter. I think we're seeing how very important law is right now. We have to be hopeful that these institutions that so far have held the president to account will be able to step back and look at this and understand that this is not an appropriate use of executive authority.